What's going on, everyone? Louis back with another album reaction and review. Thanks so much for hanging out. I hope you are having a great day. Today we're going to be listening to Radiohead's OK Computer. We did a poll about 1 or 2 weeks ago to see what everyone wanted to hear on the channel next. And I was really surprised at how many people requested Radiohead for the channel. Outside of Creep, I have heard absolutely nothing from Radiohead, and that's really surprising considering how popular the band is. I have no idea what kind of genre they fall under. I have nothing tangible to even figure out musically what they bring to the table. So I'm not even going to look anything up outside of when the album was released and how many songs there are, because I think it's just going to be a really cool experience to just go in absolutely blind, knowing nothing about the band. So without wasting any more time, we're going to go right into it. OK Computer was released 1997, so 25 years ago. It has 12 songs and it is 53 minutes long, so it is on the longer side of albums. Like I said, I don't have any expectations. I don't know what to expect with the band. I do know they're incredibly popular, so we're just going to get right into it with the first track, which is track number 1, Airbag. Let's go. It's a really interesting drum pattern that the guy's playing. It's interesting how the instruments are very sectionalized in their own little pockets of the mix. It's kind of dreamy, like a dream sequence. Really like how simple the bass pattern is as well. Those guitars are trippy. That's a really good rhythm section. They're really just vibing in this. It seems like a really good jam track. I don't know if it's Muse that I'm thinking of for the vocals. A little bit of U2 maybe. But I really like how it's grooving though. Some electronic samples in there. Almost sounds like a computer. Yeah, I'm really glad that I went into this completely blind because that was throwing me all sorts of directions musically. I like how the drums and the bass were in their own pocket on the track, and then the guitar was kind of just blanketing the entire track with its rhythm, and then the vocals just kind of drifting on top of the entire mix. It really shows how simplistic you can make certain songs and not fill them up with so much. I mean, there was a lot of time to breathe. It still had a really good vibe to it. Felt like a really good jam track. As far as what I was thinking for genre placement, I mean, it's kind of a soft rock, maybe experimental rock. I mean, there were a little bit of electronic elements in there, but I just think it was soft rock-ish. I liked it. I mean, I enjoy the vibe of the two Radiohead songs that I've heard so far between Airbag and Creep. So I'm really curious to see how the dynamics range throughout the rest of the album. That's going to be what I'm kind of looking for. Is it going to have those peaks and valleys? I imagine so. But that was a really good one to start out the album with. The next one is Paranoid Android. Let's see what we got. A little bit of acoustic. It's like a plea for help. It's very light in its approach. Some good guitar work going on right there. There's some interesting things going vocally. Yeah. Man, that's a really cool rhythm. I like that they were grooving that with the vocals and the guitar. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, hell yeah. It's like 7/4. Another switch, okay. Oh man, that's a really cool effect. What's going on with the vocals? There's a lot of great choices happening. The layering happening with the vocals is so epic. And those different inflections on his voice, he's able to just keep it very fresh with each delivery. I'm so glad we went back into this. Wow, that was a whole serving. Holy shit. I loved that so much. I feel like I may have heard that groove, like, I don't know where I must have heard it, but it sounds very familiar. But otherwise, that was very cool in its entirety to hear all those different changes. I mean, I think there were 3 different sections of that song, and they were all clicking for me instantly. But it's interesting to hear his storytelling throughout this and just their style across these first couple of songs. Like I was saying, there's a very light and delicate approach with the vocals and the instrumentation. There is a little bit of power when they need it, but for the most part, they keep it pretty chill so far. And then, of course, they had those really epic sections in this song with the vocals and then that guitar solo and then that groovy pattern. It was in 7/4 as I was kind of counting. I'm really interested to hear if they start doing some other odd time signatures. That was a very groovy one. I really like the way he worded some of these lines. For instance, he said, rain down from a great height. I don't know if it's just the emphasis that he's putting on particular words. It sounds very poetic. It almost feels like Old English poetry, if that makes sense. I don't know why, but that's kind of what I'm getting from this. There's an intellectual layer to this. I don't know how to quite describe it, but it's just, I really like the way this emotion is being described by him. I loved that track. So far, that's my favorite. We have track number 3 next, which is Subterranean, Homesick, Alien. What a title. Let's see what we got. Very dreamy, kind of bordering on psychedelic, atmospheric for sure. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Sounds very spatial. I love those effects that the guitars are pulling off. It's a very lively track in the sense that I can feel life in the instruments. They don't feel very static. They don't feel like a studio album. This feels like a live session. Yeah, those guitars are giving me huge cosmic vibes. Like this is a space cruise or something. This section where the drums are cueing the guitar and the vocals with its drum fills is really doing it for me. In the best way that I can describe, that felt like the perfect lullaby to just drift off and go to sleep to, because it was just so dreamy, so atmospheric. It was the perfect balance of power and just lightness. I like a lot of those decisions that were being made. Like I said, it felt very, very much like a session as opposed to something that's a little more static that you'd expect from a studio album. There was a lot of life in the instruments across that track, lots of dynamics, and I'm enjoying what I'm hearing so far. So we're going to go to track number 4, which is Exit Music for a Film. Okay, I really like the decisions for some of these titles, to be honest. That's another really good one. Exit Music for a Film. Track number 4.
Wake from your sleep, you're drying up your tears.
Feels very heavy.
Oh, hell breaks loose. Breathe. Keep breathing. Don't lose your nerve. Keep breathing.
This is really heavy.
I can't do this alone.
I just love his choice of words for all of these lines.
As a song to keep us warm. Such a chill, such a chill.
just the way the cymbal is being hit, just adding so much for such a simple little addition. Yeah. That reverb, it's just like droning. I like that.
That you chose.
That sample of commotion just going on in the background really adds a layer of just life. I think that's so far a theme that I'm just getting across. This is just the chaos and the beauty of life. I know that's a very broad stroke that I'm painting with this, but this is a unique set of emotions that I'm getting across this album so far. There's very specific events that are occurring across each of these songs. This track sounded like it was an escape from maybe an abusive household. And like I was saying, the decision on these word choices across these lines, it was hitting very heavily on me just from the word choices alone. His delivery, not just in the texture of his voice, but the way he's able to linger on certain words and sustain. He just keeps enough emphasis to get his point across. And then when it finally starts adding the rest of the instruments, it changes the dynamic of the song, but it enhances it as well. It gives it a whole new, unique vibe to what is already a very complex musical concept. I think they're doing a really good job with these first couple of songs, and I just want to see where it goes from here. So we have track number 5, which is Let Down. This one seems like one of the more easier listening songs on the album, but there's still some interesting choices going on with the guitars, and the use of the toms on the drums is a good choice as well. The progression on the guitars give it a very nostalgic feel. Kind of like you're strolling down memory lane. I like when the instruments just fall out from underneath the track, really letting the song breathe right here in this bridge. Some more little electronic bits for the computer part. Good touch. Very good touch with those samples and a little bit of acoustic at the end. I was not expecting that. Something that I think is going to be a running theme with this album is how much I'm enjoying the word choice, the singer's delivery, and also the balance between power and lightness across the instruments. I really liked that the verses and the chorus on this particular song was very artistic and unique to the singer in the image that he's trying to convey. That being during the chorus, right, he's saying, one day I'm going to grow wings, a chemical reaction, hysterical and useless. And I'm listening to that, and I can kind of convey a picture of what he may be describing, but it's an image unique to him. So it really doesn't matter what I perceive it as, because it's his vision and what the story that he wants to get across. I think the theme of this particular song was growing from whatever location that you're currently at and starting to move on and evolve to go to the destination that you want to go to. Same thing as before. There's a lot of emotion through these songs. I think so far with this album, there's just a unique variety of emotions that I'm getting across the board, very specific situations, and I really feel like this album is an emotional release for the band and the singer, especially with his songwriting. I really like the vibes that I'm getting across this album so far, and I want to continue listening to it. So we're going to go to the next track, which is Karma Police. This one looks like it's the most popular of the album, and I'm very curious if I've heard it before, because that name does sound familiar. So the next track is track number 6, Karma Police. I like the use of the keys. Sounds familiar. I love it. So chaotic.
This is what you'll get. This is what you'll get.
Karma Police. I just love the keys in this. Adding a very dark color. It lightens up right here. Not too much though. What is happening right now? I'm hearing something like rattling. That's cool. Is that the drums? Sounds like shuffling. Is that the guitar or is that a sample? Oh, the way it's droning. I really liked that. It felt like the best kind of diss track, to be honest. There was something like kind of underhanded about his deliveries. Like he talks in maths, he buzzes like a fridge, he's like a detuned radio. I liked how the acoustic guitar and the keys were layered on top of each other at the beginning, and then the way the keys just drove everything throughout the rest of the song. Very simple rhythm section, but very effective as well. Otherwise, another amazing track. I can see how this one is one of their more popular ones. Very easy listening, but it still had a lot to offer. And the album continues to deliver. So now we have track number 7, which is Fitter, Happier.
Fitter, happier,
Thank
more
you.
productive, comfortable, not drinking too much, regular exercise at the gym, 3 days a week. No more microwave dinners and saturated fats. A patient better driver. A safer car. Baby smiling in backseat. Sleeping well. No bad dreams.
Okay.
No paranoia.
No.
careful to all animals, keep in contact with old friends, enjoy a drink now and then. Will frequently check credit at fond but not in love. Charity standing orders. On Sundays reading road supermarket.
I feel like I'm in a horror
No
movie.
killing lots or putting boiling water on the ants.
Yeah, there it is.
Also on Sundays. No longer afraid of the dark. No chance of escape. Now self-employed. Concerned, but powerless. Less chance of illness. Tires that grip in the wet. Shot of baby strapped in backseat. A good memory. Still cries at a good film. No longer empty and frantic. Like a cat. Tied to a stick. That's driven into frozen winter shit. The ability to laugh at weakness. A pig in a cage on antibiotics.
I have so many thoughts. None of them are going to be said. Next track, which is Electioneering. Cowbell, yeah. I like that line. You go backwards. It's a good groove. That guitar riff is really good. It's a great chorus too. Is this like gonna be the instrumental part? Yeah. Yeah, those are some good accents. Wow. I really like that. That was a good jam. So this is going to be the part where my drummer side comes out. I really enjoyed what the drummer was doing with the cowbell. As a drummer, I probably wouldn't have used it as frequently as he was using it throughout the track. I would have probably done it just a tad less. That being said, it still worked, and I think after multiple listens, it'll probably grow on me a little more. You can never have too much cowbell, so I don't know what I'm talking about. We're going to go on to the next track, which is Climbing Up the Walls. Track number 9, Climbing Up the Walls. The filter on the drums make them sound like they're very distant or like in the other room. It's an interesting choice. And the guitar feels very atmospheric, like it's floating above your head somewhere. These lyrics are going to sit with me for a very long time. Lots of dark imagery as well. God, that's a great guitar solo. The way it's spacing out the delivery of that line, it's really wanting you to sit with that thought. Jeez. I don't have a lot of thoughts on that song. I want to just go straight into the next one, which is No Surprises. This album just continues to deliver, and I don't think there is a weak track on this album so far. We have track number 10, which is No Surprises, another popular one from the band. Another light track. The lyrics are so heavy, but it's his delivery that makes them so palatable for yourself. This is kind of like what I said in the last review, where if you make a song too dreary or depressing, then it really weighs heavily on the listener. So you want to find that balance between the two. So when he says silent, that's when everything falls out with the instruments. It's a good choice. I think this is the first song that they have on the album that utilizes the glockenspiel or the xylophone. The little harmony that's going on between the xylophone and the guitar. I like how it's blending from one ear to the other. God, that's so epic, that the way that ended. Before we go on to the next couple of songs to close out the album, I just want to say that I really, really like this band from just this one album. I have never heard them before, and they're just painting such vivid pictures for me with their music. The way they are utilizing the instruments, spacing the tracks out, delivering these really heavy lyrics, and still maintaining such a light sound across the board. Their dynamics are on point. Their lyrics are on point. I can see why people have grown to love them over the years and see them evolve with their musical approach. I'm already hooked, and I want to review the rest of the albums very soon. There's so many unique colors that I haven't seen in music before, and they're just knocking it out with every one of these tracks. We're going to go to the next one. That is track number 11, Lucky. Very eerie. The placement on those accents, they're just keeping me on my toes with all of these different pacings. Such a solid rhythm section. Something that we don't really hear in a lot of modern rock is the instrumental breakdowns like this. Especially so late in the songs as well. So far, these last couple of songs, there has been an instrumental break with about a minute left. And this is so refreshing, even though this is 25 years old. Not a lot of thoughts on that one that I didn't already say throughout the song. Very experimental sound across this album. Some other bands that I am getting notes of is Muse, U2, and I really want to check those bands out as well on the channel, but those are some of the flares that I'm getting across this album, mostly from the vocals. The singer definitely has the same texture as the singer from Muse, and some of these lines I'm also getting hints of U2 as well. So now we have the final track, which is track number 12, The Tourist. It's using brushes? Seems like it. Yeah. A little chime. So dreamy. Those drum fills breaking up each of those deliveries of slow down. I love that response. Those are some really good musical choices. I feel that on a spiritual level. I love this track. I like that it's getting a little heavier right here with the guitar. Makes it feel much more epic. But that's really just good advice, honestly. It's a good pattern on the drums. I like that the rhythm section is closing this out. Yeah, that's good. What a strong way to end the album as well. I think that's the most important thing when it comes to albums is how are you going to start and end the album. Across the board, they just hit every note that I needed them to and nailed every target that they were thrown. This band just gave me so much new listening material, inspiration, musical ideas. Something that I really didn't touch on a lot throughout these songs is just how amazing the singer's voice is. I mean, I did touch on it a little bit, but how he was pacing his deliveries, the verses, the choruses, where I thought that he was going to end and go into the next part, he lingered on a little bit longer, or he delayed going into the next part, and I was like, it really kept me on my toes, but I just had so much trust in him all the way through. I just let go and let them take me on this ride. I can just keep going on and on about what this album is doing for me on so many levels. I think as far as what I've been exposed to the past couple of weeks, I think this is the richest and most unique album that I have listened to so far, up there with Tame Impala for sure. And I can't wait to get into more of Radiohead much sooner than later for sure. But otherwise, let me know y'all's thoughts about the review or any thoughts you have on this particular album or Radiohead as a whole. I want to thank y'all for the feedback that y'all gave about the audio. Please let me know if you hear any changes or if it sounds like it's improved. I am trying to get that mix perfect, so the more that y'all leave feedback about that, the closer I can get to there. If y'all have any other suggestions about albums that you would like to hear in the future, please leave them in the comments below. Any other artists as well. I think the next couple we're probably going to do are Arctic Monkeys, Tyler the Creator, Frank Ocean, and some more Mac Miller. So thanks so much for hanging out, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.